Dinghy Pattinson is the Chief Operating Officer of the Pike River Agency and he'll oversee next year's re-entry. A short time ago he told me the police had not yet made a decision on whether their team of investigators will actually go underground or if the police will train miners to do their forensic work. I asked Dinghy to talk me through the re-entry step by step. From the moment the first seal is broken in mid-February, what will happen?
When we first break down that 30 metre, we're going to go in and close that door and reseal that 170 metre one. That allows us then time to pull out all the infrastructure, because there's a lot of infrastructure between the 30 metre and 170, and that was all installed there to manage for water flow. So we've got to remove that, and that will require our machinery to go in there and do that, and that'll take us about 2 weeks to do that. Then we actually break down the wall at the 170 metres.
Okay, and so at that point, what are the other significant sites as you go past that seal at 170 metres in? You are making your way down, are you not, to where Russell Smith's loader was?
Yes, we are. We're making our way down in stages, and it'll be around about 40 metres at a time that we will actually we'll do hazard. We'll go in first, do a hazard assessment on that 40 metres of roadway. We'll then come out. If there's no hazards to deal with, we'll hand over to forensic police, who will be accompanied by mining people. They'll go in and do a full forensic. Then they'll come out and they'll hand it back to the mining operations. They'll go in and advance all the mining services we need up to that point, and then we go again. So it's a continued process from here on in. And then when we get up to Russell Smith's loader, we'll have to recover that. We'll have to remove that. We'll have to remove 4 robots that are down the mine as well. And
so you're going to pull the loader out, Dinghy? You're pulling the loader out?
At some stage, we will pull it out. The police may want it for forensic, although when you think about it, that loader was actually driving in the tunnel when the explosion occurred. So that's probably irrelevant to the police, but they will clear it for us to pull out. And we need to pull that out because we've got to go 2.3 kilometres down the drift. And that's at 1.5, so we need to get it out of our road.
Okay, so you pass Russell Smith's loader, you pull it out, the forensic team goes in there, scours, takes out anything else. Where is the next significant point as you're moving down the drift? Is it at the 1.8 K mark, is it?
It'll depend. I mean, we've got no camera footage or nothing from Russell Smith's loader in.
So it's uncharted territory, Dinghy, just to be clear. Once you get past the loader, the first loader, it is uncharted territory.
Most definitely. So, and we know there's a significant area of interest to us, which is a pit bottom and stone area, which is around about 1,800 metres, 1,900 metres in, and that's got all the electrical infrastructure that was installed in the mine. So that's of a real interest to us. So we want to get to that point as well. And then after that, the next point is to get to the final point, which is a rockfall. And we want to get eyes on that rockfall. We want to know what it's actually like and what's in between pit bottom and stone and the rockfall. We've seen photographs, we've seen camera footage down a borehole that far in, and it shows there is quite a debris field, but we'll deal with that at the time.
From that site at the 1.8 kilometre mark where Daniel Rockhouse's loader is, what else is there that is of interest to you? What other equipment, what other clues will be paramount there?
There is a lot of electrical infrastructure. There's transformers, there's electrical transformers, there's electrical variable speed drives, there's crushing equipment. There's a lot of electrical equipment installed in all that area because that was their main infrastructure area. And beyond that, up to the roof fall, we don't know what we're going to find. So there could be things of interest. We don't know that. That's why we need to get in there.
Dinghy, are you going to bring all of that stuff out? All of the things, the electrical equipment, the diesel pump, the crusher, all of that stuff, is it going to come out?
Look, we'll bring out what's required. And there'll be some equipment that is too big to actually bring out. Mm-hmm. So we'll do forensic work on that underground. But we'll bring whatever has to come out, we'll bring it out.
Do you have confidence in the police? Because I see from the details of this particular plan that they're actually going to be doing forensic examination of the outside of the portal, right? So they've had 8 years to do that. Why haven't they done it already?
Could you just repeat that?
Yeah, I can hear that you've got issues with the airport there. Dinghy, do you have confidence in the police and their ability to do a good job here? Because I see from the full analysis of the options that they're going to be doing forensic examination of the area right at the entrance to the tunnel and the outside riverbank and all around there, which presumably they could have done for the last 8 years.
Oh, look, I've got the utmost confidence in the police. Most definitely, they've seconded detectives and Detective Senior Sergeant to the agency, and they are putting a detailed forensic plan together. Look, the idea of that 0 to 30 metres, yes, it hasn't been examined before. It needs to be done, but it's a good place to start to actually do a training exercise, get our rhythm and our technique for the forensic work all in place. What we're going to do underground, how we're going to do it, so forth. So that's the main reasoning behind that.
You're going to do rehearsals. You're going to do rehearsals in an Otago mine, aren't you? How realistic do you think that will be?
No, look, the visit to the mine down Otago, that is mainly a familiarisation visit for the police to actually show them what it is like in an underground mine. That's the main reason for that visit down there.
Right, so to familiarise them. But they will always have experienced miners with them every step of the way.
Most definitely. After the police, the police have still got to decide whether they're coming underground or not. Hopefully they will. And
what do you mean? Might they not come underground?
The Commissioner of Police has still got to make a decision on that yet, and that's their decision. So what we're doing is...
What happens, Dinghy, if they don't come underground?
They will train us mining people in forensic work.
So miners could potentially do the forensic work if the police decide that they don't want to enter the drift?
Yes, most definitely, with the right training. That was the original solar energy plan. The police were never going to enter the mine.
Right.
But we've got a different plan. The police are confident in the plan, and they're just getting it reviewed as well. They have to be confident in their own people, and so we're going to do a familiarisation visit. Then we're going to put them through a lot of in-depth mining training, so they're familiar with the mining environment. But at all times that they are underground, they will be accompanied by experienced mining officials and mining people.
When do you expect them to make that final decision?
I don't know on what date they will make that decision, but that'll be shortly.
Okay. So the other thing is, the plan states that if at any point it is deemed to be unsafe to continue on, that people need to be able to say no. Do you think that you're able to do that people are not too emotionally invested in achieving this?
Look, most definitely people will be able to say no. That's the culture of the workforce that we're employing, and that's the culture that we will lead as an agency. And at any stage, if there's anything that people aren't happy with, then we will stop and we will reassess it. Our main focus is not to be time-driven, to be event-driven. So that way we make sure safety is paramount.
Realistically, what is your time frame?
Realistically, we would like to be reaching that 30-metre seal in mid-February, reaching the 170 seal mid-March, and have the drift recovered and the forensic work all done by probably end of September, and then we have to seal the mine and rehabilitate the site and hand it back over to DOC, which would probably be around about the end of 2019.
Are you reconciled, Dinghy, with the fact that that's your plan, but at any point you may have to stop?
Oh, look, most definitely, we don't know what we don't know, and there'll be a lot of things that we'll find when we get under there. And as we've said, if that stops us, then that stops us.
What do you want?
We are not going to put other people at risk.
What do you want to find from this? Best case scenario, what do you want to find from this?
Oh, look, we don't know what we'll find. The main objective for us is to get the forensic work done, and so the families can have closure.
And what will that mean for you if you're able to do that?
look, for me personally, that'd be fantastic. You know, look, I was involved in the mines rescue there from the explosion onwards, and for myself personally, and probably every miner in New Zealand and around the world, this has been unfinished business for us. And for decision today is a complete start to be able to finish that. You know, like when we built the wall to 170, I was part of that. We left a note to those guys to say we would return. You know, today we get that opportunity to start returning.
Going to go back and collect the note, Dinghy?
I would personally like to go back and collect the note, but we haven't decided on who's going to go down the mine yet.
Do you think it will be you?
Do I think it will be me? I would give my heart and soul to be part of that goes down the mine. But at some stage I'll get to go down there. But at the end of the day, safety comes first. And if the decision is that I stay outside and lead it from there, then that's what the decision is.
And who does the buck stop with?
The buck stops with two people. Myself, as being, I have a statutory duties as the mine manager and the site senior executive, and with my boss, Dave Gawn, who is a CE.
Are you comfortable with that, Dinghy?
Most definitely, otherwise I wouldn't be here today.
And that was Dinghy Pattinson, who's the Chief Operating Officer of the Pike River Agency, talking to me there while he was at the airport waiting for a flight. Checkpoint asked the New Zealand Police when they will decide if they're on board with the recovery operation or not. They've said they can't say when and refuse to provide any further comment on the issue.